What's going on YouTube? On the motorcycle, and I'm gonna go ahead and start looking at cleaning the engine up and then finding that source of the leak. So I'm thinking that it's around the push rod tubes. We'll look into that while we're cleaning up. But I mean, right away you can see that there's a lot of oil pooling up right here below the front of the push rod tube. I'm feeling for oil on the outside of the tube, and there definitely is a little bit on the outside here, a little bit there. So I'm not sure if it's leaking at the base or if it's leaking at the top here. Let me feel here. No, I'm not feeling any oil there. It might be the base. It might be the base of the push rod tube. To get to that, I'm gonna pull off the air cover and probably the carbs as well. And I'll pull the exhaust tubes out of the way. Yep. Gas to be in this catch can, but it's got quite a bit in there. That's, I mean, okay, remove the catch can. Now I'm going to work on taking the exhaust, I called it an exhaust tube earlier. Exhaust pipe. Okay, exhaust is off. I'm gonna start working on taking the air cleaner off. Already I'm getting a lot more room to work on the push rod to check out the oil leak that's in here. Yep, keep on taking stuff off. All right, I took the air cleaner off. Yeah, it's leaking. Got a lot on here. But I don't think all this is gas. I think this is oil. I mean, yeah, that's probably oil. One thing I did notice right here, there's let me get this hose out of the way. There's an inspection port right here for the timing mark. I did take that out, so whenever I was setting up the ignition module, I did have to take it to top dead center. But this right here has a lot pulling in front of it, a lot of oil. I'm wondering maybe the inspection bolt right here might be leaking. I don't know, it's hard to tell. Maybe it's not the push rod tube at all. Maybe it's just the inspection bolt right here. Giving you all a closer look at that bolt that's leaking, potentially. There is oil built up right underneath that screw, that bolt, right there. What I was thinking it was this push rod tube in the front, because it's got oil on the outside right here. Oh, I don't know. Definitely oil pulling up right there though. So I'll pull the bike off the motorcycle lift, and I'll probably run it for about 5 or 10 minutes to get the oils all flowing through it, and I'll double check the sources of the leaks. So I've got four theories I guess. One theory is that plug that I sealed with pipe thread sealant, maybe that wasn't tightened all the way. Maybe that could have been leaking some oil out of there. So I put some pipe thread sealant on there. The second theory I've got is maybe it is the push rod tube seal, the base. Maybe that is leaky. Maybe I installed that improperly. So I'll probably have to go back through there and double check that if the leak continues. Another idea that I've had was maybe that catch can that I had installed, the oil catch can, maybe it was building up too much pressure in there because of, I'm not sure, I really don't know, but I took the catch can off, and I have just all the carbs, the primary case vent, and I have the breather. The heads actually have like a breather port or whatever. I've got that all tied to 3 different hoses, and that's venting out to the side of the bike. So I've got that set up. I've cleaned it up pretty good with brake clean, and yeah, brake clean seems to be pretty effective. I don't think it'll harm the gaskets that underneath it because it's paper. It's not like a rubber gasket or anything like that. So that's kind of another theory that I had: the catch can, that little drain plug, and the push rod tube. Another theory that I am kind of speculative on is maybe I've been doing a little bit of reading online. There might be too much oil in the system, and if it's overfilled, then that could cause maybe the pressure is building up too much inside the engine as it's running. Because I never did see that oil leak when I did the startups, and I run it around just a couple miles. Never saw any of those leaks. And then when I finally took it on a longer ride, about a 30 or a 40 mile ride, that's when I noticed it was leaking pretty heavily. So I will probably check the oil level when I heat it up. I'll pull it off the stand and ride it around probably 5 or 10 minutes just to get the oil all circulated, and then we'll check the oil level. I don't think it's too high. It might be. I've overfilled this before. Before I did the rebuild, the top end rebuild, I had actually filled it up to 3 quarts without even checking the dipstick. I just saw that it took 3 quarts in the manual, filled 3 quarts up, and then I rode. And about halfway around the neighborhood when I was done riding, never really got up that high of speed, I noticed that my whole side of the bike had oil on it, and the drain plug had built up so much pressure inside the oil tank that it popped the drain plug out. Or not the drain plug, the dipstick. It actually popped the dipstick out because of so much pressure held built inside of that. So that was due to overfilling. So yeah, I guess it could be a possibility that maybe I've overfilled the oil tank. But I'll check on that. We'll see if maybe it's too much oil in there and I've built up too much pressure. Maybe that's what's happening. The engine's got to breathe somehow, and I've got too much oil inside of it. We'll check that. We'll see what's happening. But I'll go ahead and pull the bike off the lift, and yeah, how's that lift? The lift turns out pretty good, I think. Yeah, I've got a eye bolts bolted onto the side here for the ratchet straps to connect to. They were connected to the motorcycle lift itself. Now they're up on the platform. I put a vinyl, kind of a rubber mat in between the plywood and the stand, or in the motorcycle, so that any oil leaks get leaked down onto that. We got a nice aftermarket ramp now. It's collapsible, and you can store it wherever. It actually just fits right underneath the motorcycle right now. That's pretty cool. A huge shout out to Jared. He gave me a really good deal on this. So thank you there. It beats that little plywood thing I was working with. So it wasn't necessary for me to make a video, I don't think, because it's really simple. All it is a pegboard and a hook. And pull the helmet off. I've got a hook there for putting my helmet onto. I got a hook for my key, jacket, and a little bin for like gloves. Right above it, I've got the helmet box, an extra helmet, my chaps, and the owner's manual, or the repair manual for the Sportster. Just a nice place to store everything when you're done riding. You can hang it up somewhere. I was just throwing that onto the workbench over here, and it's just nice to have it hung up. Yeah, get it off the floor. I'd say this is a pretty good spot to stop the video. We've already gone over the updates on the motorcycle lift. We're done working on that. gave some updates on the Sportster, and so stay tuned. If you haven't already subscribed, consider doing so. If not, thank you for watching the video. Leave a like, share, comment, all that jazz. All right, thanks for watching. See you.